What is going on? What kind of world are we living in? This is 5 videos in 5 days, and I might have another one this weekend, and I forgot to brush my teeth. But then I hit the road for Paris next week, so I think that's gonna throw a wrinkle into things, I think. Well, let's worry about next week. And today, let's focus on previews and predictions instead. Starting with Southampton versus Arsenal. I really want to say that Southampton have a chance in this game, if only because they'll be riding this emotional high after beating Liverpool at Anfield midweek to go to Wembley for the EFL Cup final, but Arsenal didn't play midweek, and this core of players have won the FA Cup 2 out of the last 3 seasons, so as long as Arsene Wenger doesn't do anything batshit crazy with his lineup, then I see the Gunners pulling this one out, and they're gonna win 1-0. You guys don't like it when I say 1-0. 1-0. And up next, Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad. In what should be a real or real interesting affair between Rafa Benitez's and David Moyes' previous clubs, who both unfortunately just got knocked out of the Copa del Rey, currently in first Madrid, who are clinging on to that top spot in La Liga since Sevilla and Barcelona are clipping their heels, face another surprising team in La Liga this season in Sociedad, who've won 4 out of their last 6 league games and sit in 4th, which means they're tied on points with Atletico Madrid, but keep in mind that this is an Atleti team that isn't really playing to their potential this season. But to get back to the Real derby, with Madrid, well, they haven't been that good as of late. A little shaky, especially defensively, and they're dealing with some injuries. But with Sociedad, they're playing with some house money. They got nothing to lose, but I don't think that's gonna mean they're gonna win the game, but I don't think they're gonna lose. I think they're gonna draw 1-1. And now let's go to France for PSG versus Monaco. First off, of course, I'm going to Paris the week after the biggest game in Ligue 1 is being played there. It's just so typical. Second, and with all due respect to Nice's nice start to the season, the French league is going to be decided by these 2 teams, and I think Monaco is the favorite because they cannot stop scoring. But then, neither can Edinson Cavani, who leads Ligue 1 in goals, and with the addition of Julian Draxler, it just makes PSG more dynamic. And I don't know if there's going to be a winner in this one, but it's going to be a great game, and I think they're going to draw 2-2. And now we head to Germany to talk about RB Leipzig versus Hoffenheim. Or shall I say that previews and predictions correspondent Adrian from Rabona TV is going to talk about it instead. So take it away, Adrian.
Hoffenheim's the only team in Europe's Big 5 leagues that's undefeated still. 29-year-old manager Julian Nagelsmann has his team winning a bit, drawing a lot, and never losing. Too bad they suck at protecting leads. They've given up the lead in 7 of their 10 draws, including in their last match against RB, which ended 2-2. Speaking of Rasenballsport Leipzig, aka the surprise motherfuckers of the Bundesliga, they came flying out of the gates this season, but snapped their unbeaten run against 17th place Ingolstadt. Why though? Now they're 3 points behind Bayern, who crushed them by the same amount, and they've lost 2 of their last 4 matches. But even if their form isn't great and Forsberg is suspended, Timo Werner will hurt the Hoffies. The streak is ending, folks. 2-0 Leipzig.
You know, I don't know if this game is as cut and dry as this, Adrian. I think that Hoffenheim is going to show some steely resolve, and this game's going to end 2-2. And now let's see what else is happening this weekend. Like the rest of the FA Cup fixtures, which includes reigning champions Manchester United, who are fresh off advancing to the final of the EFL Cup against Southampton. And here they're going to be facing against Wigan in the 4th round of this knockout competition. And since they're doing well in the other knockout competition, the EFL Cup, and they're probably going to do well in the Europa League, I think they're going to do well here because that's a superior logic, and I think they're going to win this game. I don't know if they're going to win it all. What am I? A prediction genius? I am actually. And while it's still competitive, let's talk about the top 3 in Italy. Juventus, who are only 1 point ahead of Roma, hit the road to face a Sassuolo team that is rounding into form. And Roma, who are only 3 points ahead of Napoli, hit the road to take on a Sampdoria team that was much better 3 months ago. And Napoli, who are 4 points ahead of 4th place Lazio, get to host Palermo, who are currently in the relegation zone. So even though on paper all 3 of these teams should win, I don't think they will. I just can't decide which one's gonna drop points. Also, I wanted to talk about some interesting games from other destinations around the world, like in the US, or Mexico, or Turkey, or Holland, or Russia, or Belgium, or Brazil, or Argentina. But either of these leagues aren't playing, or they don't have any must-see matches. So don't get mad at me if I don't name drop your favorite team, because they just have a boring game on their hands, and that's it. However, in Australia, the must-see match isn't in the A-League, it's in the Australian Open, as Venus Williams takes on her sister Serena in the women's final, and Roger Federer takes on Rafa Nadal in the men's final. It's like 2008 all over again. And then in Portugal, the story is Benfica, the reigning back-to-back league champions who are on course to win their 4th straight league title, which is something they have never done before. Just got bounced out of the Portuguese League Cup semifinals midweek, and now, due to some serious debt, they're gonna have to sell some of their best young players, one of which who just went to PSG, to balance their books, which could have a serious effect on the rest of their season. And finally, it's time to get all international on your ass, because the US is playing a friendly, which means a great deal to me. I can't wait to see how these guys do. And the Africa Cup of Nations quarterfinals are upon us. On Saturday, it's the surprising Burkina Faso taking on the 2004 champs Tunisia, and then it's an absolute cracker between pre-tournament favorites Senegal, who have actually never won the tournament before, taking on four-time champs Cameroon, who've looked solid despite not having all of their best players available. And then on Sunday, it's Congo, who got third place in this tournament the last time it was held, versus United States killers Ghana, who unfortunately lost in the final on penalties the last time out, and haven't won this tournament since 1982. And the last quarterfinal match is a North African derby between Egypt, who have won more Africa Cup of Nations titles than anybody else. They have 7, against Morocco, who are making it out of the group stages for the first time since 2004. And honestly, these are all going to be great games to watch. And as for my beloved United States men's national team, they take on Serbia in a friendly. And like I mentioned in yesterday's video, there could be some important implications for some players and their roles under new but old boss Bruce Arena, so you know I'll be watching this one closely. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Later.